there's a piece of entrepreneurship that a lot of people don't understand, and I'm just starting to find out as well.
There's an understanding that in order for us to be really successful, we need to be
Welcome, everyone. Today we have a special guest, but before I introduce her, I wanted to do this YouTube talk because as an entrepreneur, I know my audience is entrepreneurs or people who want to be entrepreneurs and people working towards that, but there's a lot of there's a piece of entrepreneurship that a lot of people don't understand, and I'm just starting to find out as well, and that is the spirituality part of it. Yes, it is true. There is spirituality connected to entrepreneurship and trying to get to the next levels. So I have the beautiful Master Tatiana here with me today. She's an energy healer. She is a brain intuitive trainer, a numerologist. She also does chakra alignment, and she is a breathwork and meditation trainer. Welcome, Tatiana.
Thank you for having me. I love the introduction.
You're welcome. Well, just a little bit about us. And you can kind of see we kind of look like each other. I don't know. I don't remember really how we met. I think it was like in between, that whole pandemic thing with Clubhouse, Instagram, and
Yes.
somehow, we found out that we're both Garifuna. We are the rebel tribe, the Garifuna people. Okay.
Yes.
If you don't know about us, look us up. We are rebels. We didn't get enslaved. We beat people. We fought people, and that's what we still do till this day. Right?
Yes.
But that's why we have Master Tatiana, because she comes from our ancestors, and she comes from higher energy and healing when she does her trading and her work. And that's how it became to trust you. First of all, we're both Garifuna, which doesn't really mean that much, but we talked on Clubhouse probably. You did a webinar that I joined for free. That webinar, it really changed like how I felt, and it's almost an indescribable feeling of what it is. It's almost like reaching enlightenment with the things that you teach and the exercises that you do. So we also got to meet in person when I went to New York with my husband. It was an unforgettable trip because it was the first time we went on vacation without the baby. So it was unforgettable too because I met you, and it was such an amazing time. We got to get together and have lunch. And after we did that kind of webinar stuff for a little while, probably a month, was it 6 months? Can't remember.
It was 6 weeks.
Oh, okay, 6 weeks. Okay, yeah. I remember 6. So we did the webinar. We did like a 6-week training with you. And then I ended up hiring you as my energy healer the beginning of last year for 6 months. That time. 6 months. And it was a great experience having you, and you're in the Bronx, so we were doing it on Zoom 2 hours a week. You were really working me out, and so I think as I move towards the levels or push through the levels with my entrepreneurship, I thought it would be important to have you explain what you taught me to my audience, because we need this. So do you mind giving us a little bit about your background?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I am an energy healer. I do study numbers from a conscious level and a Tao, we call it like living Tao. Like Tao just means nature. It actually roots down to, just living in alignment with nature, just knowing that you are nature. And so I'm also a brain education practitioner. I do work at a holistic center in the Bronx. It's called Body and Brain. What brain education stand for is just a person that really helps people to utilize their bodies well, to help them utilize their mind well, and to help them kind of release some emotional memories and experiences that you may have in your body that's probably blocking the flow of how things are supposed to be, moving for you.
I didn't go to you for that, but it ended up helping me in that. And that's why I wanted to highlight that part, because as I grow as an entrepreneur, I realized that the energy healing kind of like brought up some of my childhood traumas that made me believe certain things about myself that were not true. You grow up, you think that you're not so smart, you think you're dumb, you're stupid, powerless, you're nobody, you'll never be anybody, you're manipulated. And then on top of it, I mean, as you can see, I am who I am. I'm a woman, I'm a woman of color, blah, 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 blah. But and then on top of it, we have society that suppresses women around the world. I'm so tired of hearing it, but women are suppressed all around the world, and you don't expect us to be successful. But I'm making my little successful way anyways, pushing through. And as part of my entrepreneur journey, and as I grow, I also am reading the Bible of business books, Think and Grow Rich. Have you heard of this book?
Yes, I have.
Oh my God. It talks about desire. It talks about faith. It talks about auto-suggestion. It talks about imagination. It has a section about the brain, the sixth sense, the fear of poverty, also symptoms of the fear of death. Can you imagine that this is in a business book on how to grow rich? So these are the things that we need to understand. We need to understand the law of attraction, and we need to fix ourselves. We need to fix ourselves to get to that level. And a lot of the times we don't know that we have to fix ourselves. And yes, there are bad people who are also rich, but you don't want to go out like that. You don't want to cross that path, because Master Tatiana talks to me a lot about karma, and maybe we can't see it, but it is there. So don't worry about them and how they deal with things. You worry about how you're going to be your best and highest self. Also, when it comes to entrepreneurship, we are very focused on health, wealth, and relationships. I mean, all of us are anyways, but in entrepreneurship, you really have to stay balanced, or try to find some balance in all of those things. So I was wanting to ask you, tell us a little bit about how energy healing can help with our health, and maybe some of the people you've helped and things like that.
Energy is something that we all have because we're alive. Or else we wouldn't be here, right? I think when it comes to entrepreneurship and your health, in order for you to reach a certain level, you need to make sure that your physical condition is well. One of the common things that I was able to observe during the pandemic was a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs running at early as 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think the reason for that is because there's an understanding that in order for us to be really successful, we need to be circulating well, and running has a way of helping you to feel refreshed, sweat what you need to sweat, and help your body to be a little bit more flexible. As an entrepreneur, you have so much responsibility, so it's very easy for your body to get very stiff and experience a lot of tension. But the body had this natural system. In my practice, we call it water up, fire down. And so as you're running, you are connecting your feet to the earth, and your feet have the direct connection to your kidneys. And your kidneys are responsible for the water energy, how it's flowing in your body. And so some entrepreneurs I may hear sometimes say, I have back pain. Oh, my back hurts so much, right? So when you do something that makes you sweat, whether it's dancing or running, it's going to activate your kidneys, and your kidneys are going to shoot up cool energy up to your brain, cooling your brain and helping you to strengthen that fire energy that you have in your brain of all your to-do lists and everyone that's responsible for what delegating, right? It's going to help you pull that energy forward and then cool, and then fire energy comes down. So in the terms of energy, we have feminine and masculine. And of course, in this physical body, we have either your woman or your man, right? But in the energy world, you have both. So when both are working well together and dancing well together, there's harmony, there's clarity, there's power, there's strength, there's confidence, there's conviction. And so you want to balance that system. You want to wake it up. So there's different techniques that we do to help you wake it up.
That's awesome. And that's why I see a lot of really successful entrepreneurs. They usually look good. They usually look fit because you have to, it helps mentally as well to exercise. And that's what I did with you also with when we were training, you used to work me out. And I thought I was just going to sit and do meditation. I thought I was sit and do meditation, but you was working me out. And there was reasons for that because I remember there was one session I was really angry because of the situation with a client. And you told me, where do you hold anger? Where's the area that we hold?
Your liver.
Okay, exactly. So holding anger in your liver, and that can cause other problems that, we might think, okay, well, you have a liver problem. Oh, well, I never drank. Well, if you have a lot of anger, it's in your liver. So, I always thank you for working me out and making sure you take care of me. I mean, I always felt you were always taking care of me when we were doing our exercises, making sure I got what I needed. Okay, but tell us a little bit of how energy healing helps us with wealth.
Oh, yes. So wealth, when it comes to wealth and understanding energy is like money. It's like ching, 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 ching. So some people have so much energy, but they don't ground that energy. So that's why they spend the energy. So it's important for as an energy practitioner to guide you on when you accumulate this energy, how to create immediately with this energy. So this will help you build integrity, and integrity tends to pull wealth. So integrity is pretty much keeping your promise, saying if you're going to do something, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it with dignity and integrity, right? And if you lack that with anyone, people don't want to hire you. People don't want you. So sometimes you may feel like, oh, I'm just not feeling like enough. I don't feel like there's enough wealth coming my way. So now we need to see, how are you with keeping promises to yourself? Have you kept promises to yourself? How have you been able to become aware of where you're not taking care of self? And when I say taking care of self, it is from a place of selfless. It's not selfish. So that does not mean that you're not going to care about people around you, but you're going to be responsible, because wealth comes with responsibility. And if you're not responsible with yourself, why should wealth come to you? It's going to miss you energetically. So energy follows where the mind goes. So if your mind is critical and thinking about the result of someone booking you, or someone, oh my God, I hope I get this, you're going outwards with your energy, and so the goal is to bring that energy back inward. And there are some postures that you can do to help you bring energy inward. Of course, you need to sensitize your body, and I will get back with you with that one, but it's important for you to wake up the senses in your body. And this is beyond your physical sense, right? Because we have these physical 5 senses that cannot really be trusted, right? Sometimes you see things and someone else is seeing something different. So it's like, you can't say, well, you didn't see the same thing I just saw. Like, And so I think it's very important for us to wake up integrity, understand, and we can understand that through your posture. As you start to like fix your posture more, you start realizing, oh, okay, I'm a little bit leaning over here, leaning over there, or you may feel there's more sensation in one side than the other. And so we want to wake that up for there could be wealth coming your way. But also your wealth have a lot to do with these right here and your feet.
Okay. Can we elaborate a little bit more on that? Is this gonna be
Sure. So I always ask, especially when someone is wanting to understand with wealth, I always ask you to touch your hands, right? Do it feel warm? Do it feel cold? What's going on? And then I ask you to bring your thumb and then press in and notice if you feel any pain, right? Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. And then this center right here is a like a acupressure point right here. So you want to open this up, and then I always ask you to rotate your wrist. Okay, and even on your fingers, in this part of your finger, you want to press with your nail. Ouch. 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 So as you press there, we have over 365 acupressure points in the body, and they are all over the place, right? So do that sound familiar? 365 acupressure points, 365 days of the year. Okay. So just like the year, we have so many things going on. And so sometimes we can miss things if we just keep being outwards. So when you pressing these parts, you are opening up energy pathways. And then what's happening is the energy is circulating back to your body. Then you shake your hands, and then I have you like rub your palms and start noticing if your hand is getting warmer. Like, think about it like this. If you have a child, right? Or you yourself wanting to be held and held, right? Naturally, as you touch somebody, people want you more if your hands are warm. If your hands are cold, get off me. Your hands are cold. Like, what you doing? So one of the things I always recommend is that the condition of your hands will determine also the type of wealth you are going to be bringing in. Because anyone could be wealthy and be very selfish and really all about themselves, right? But there's a different type of wealth that brings the right people to you.
That's right. And that's what I mean about the balance. So the last one, how do we use energy healing with relationships?
Oh, that's a really powerful one. So I always say that relationships actually gives you an advantage to see yourself. Your relationship with yourself. When there is a disconnect with someone else, there's also a disconnect within yourself that you may not be aware. Many times we create more from the subconscious, so we're not even aware. So being able to see relationships, it takes time for you. This is when meditation plays a major role.
How so?
Okay. So meditation helps you to detach yourself from the false identity of who you believe you are. Yeah. It helps you to see objectively. Meditation. So you're not attached to the outcome, the result. You're just seeing everything for what it is. So as you're in a meditative state, you are able to detach from the emotions and from the thoughts. And so you notice that the thoughts and the emotions are like the clouds in the sky. And so you, in that posture, in the stillness posture, you may find yourself having a hard time being still, right? And usually the reason for that is because your mind has not gotten to that place of stillness yet. So it's very natural to be, right? And so it's important from to not get so caught up on the thoughts, but to be responsible that or not responsible, but be aware that the thoughts are there, but come back through the breath. Because when you come back with the breath, you're allowing yourself to like clean the mind. So the way I go about guiding meditation, I really don't emphasize too much on focusing on breathing in. The reason for that is because the body is naturally doing that. The body is really, really intelligent, and we need to trust the sense of the body that's breathing. Naturally, what we are not really conscious of is exhale. So we do a lot of
sucking in,
and then the chest is still up like this, and you're still like, right? So we're not really conscious of doing this. And what's the common sense thing to do after you exhale?
Inhale back.
Breathe in. Right? So all you really have to do is focus on exhaling and you can make the sound to exhale if you're not aware that you're doing it properly. So you go in and then you exhale out. And then after doing a little bit of the breath work for about 5 minutes and then increasing it accordingly, then you start noticing that you have patience for your partner, for your colleagues, for your employees. You have a little bit more patience. And also they will feel also a sense of like calm and relax, and they will also feel like they need to be responsible with their role.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And also, while I was working with you, I was surprised to know that you don't just do, spiritual work as far as breathing and all that stuff. You also created something called a PDCA for me. Can you explain what a PDCA is and why it's important?
This brain of ours has many functions, right? This brain has the power to really understand what you needed to do by giving it numbers. That's why I'm so intrigued with numbers as well. So numbers help the brain to understand your will and your commitment, right? So when I talk about your will, I'm talking about it from a place of really wanting it. And when I talk about commitment, has a lot to do with how the result is going to come, right? So if you give 100%, you're going to get 100%. There will be change, right? But if you give 50%, if you give 30%, that's what you're going to get back. That is the law of supply and demand, give and take, karma, right? So if you're not giving your 100%, you can expect that you're not going to get 100%. I think it's important for people to understand it from that angle. But can you repeat the question one more time?
The PDCA, what is it and why is it important?
Yeah, okay. So the PDCA just gives you a focus, okay?
But what does it mean?
So P stands for plan, D stands for do, for the action, right? C stands for check, and then take action again is A. So that's what PDCA is. So when you put a certain number, this helps your brain to create the scenario for you, right, for the possibility to happen.
What Master Tatiana did for me, she created a spreadsheet, like a literal Excel spreadsheet. And then we put things like how many appointments did you have today? Or how many, cleans did you do today? How many workers work today?
Mm-hmm.
How much you made today? And you were saying why that's important to look at.
Yes. Yeah. The reason why it's important to look at, because it helps you to know where you're going to focus. Remember the principle of where the mind goes, energy follows, right? So if you put your client down and you spoke to someone and you feel like this person already told you, I'll get back to you. So that person will be in the category of 50-50, right? If someone said to you, yeah, I heard good things about you. I think I want to put a deposit. Then you know that that's going to be more on the 70%, right? If the person tells you, yeah, that's it. I'm going to do this with you. And I'm going to start this day. Then you put them in 100%. So you know that this is actually coming in. This is the high chance of coming in. And this is like 50-50. And then you don't have to focus too much on those that is like, I got to think about it. You surrender them to the higher power.
It's a way to hit your goals. It's kind of like they use that same analogy. I don't know if you heard it with Jim Carrey on how before he got rich and famous and became an actor, he put like on a bill like $100,000 for
Yeah.
a check for I don't know $1 million. I don't remember how many it was. I think it was like $1 million or something. And I mean, obviously he got it. It's because he always was keeping his eye on the prize. And that's what I really love about that PDCA is you can track what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on, then how are you knowing to improve and get to your $10 million if that's what you want to do? So
exactly. And it also makes you responsible on the amount of energy that you will have to use to actually achieve that, right? So it shouldn't just be like, oh, yeah, I want this amount, but now you're not going to do the work. Yeah. So your brain, your consciousness is going to hold you responsible that you do the work to get that. And many times you have to sometimes put yourself in uncomfortable situations for that to possibly come in. And so when it comes to karma, karma is not good nor bad. And many people have this delusion that they feel like karma is bad. Karma stands for action. It's cause and effect, you know? So if you go and you push somebody, that person falls, there's the cause and there's the effect, right? You push, the person fell. When it comes to your work, also, it's the same principle. You know, you just can't say, oh, I hope to get these amount of people to just come. Why should they choose you? Why should they want to work with you? What makes you so unique? What makes you the person to work on? And it's not about comparison. This is not, oh, I will do a better job than this person. It's not about that. I studied the blue ocean method. So I don't know if you know about the blue ocean method, but this is a method, like even right now where I live, there is a Starbucks, there is a Dunkin' Donuts, and there's a regular coffee. It doesn't even have like a particular name. And all three of them are in the same street. But they all have their loyal customers, right? And there's no competition. This is the blue ocean method. When it's the red ocean is when you have this competition mind, you know, like, oh, I have to do better than that person. So you drain yourself and you end up getting fatigued and tired. And then you start to feel a lot of blockages in your body.
Right.
And then old memories of what people did to you when you failed, everything starts to come to the surface and you start to believe those things again, only making you more resentful.
Right. You start getting triggered. Exactly. And then it starts coming out. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. How would you describe energy healing and the work that you do different from talk therapy when you go to a therapist or you Zoom call with a therapist and talk? How is what you do different?
Okay, so I'm actually going to share a perfect example that I got from one of my mentors. You know, therapy is amazing. I highly recommend if you need to speak to someone, go for your therapist. However, when it comes to therapy only works one particular side or part of your brain, which is your neocortex, which is the thinking and the reflection, right? But many times you leave your therapy and then you go right back to doing the same thing over and over again because you only thought about it. So the analogy that this mentor gave me is like going to the basement and seeing that you have a lot of stuff and just saying, I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff. That's it. You cry, you weep. I have a lot of stuff. But when you do energy work is a very powerful tool because it has no limit. It's infinite, right? It has no limit. It could pierce through the thickest wall and layers of you to help remove and dissolve and transmute whatever has been clogging that part inside of you, right? So energy, we have to go, when we do energy work, not only are we tapping into your neocortex, but we also tapping into the limbic part of the brain and the neocortex. The neocortex is the limbic part of the brain deals with your emotions, your emotional state. And your brainstem deals with the unconscious. So we can breathe without telling our bodies to breathe. Right. Our heart beats without us saying, hey, heart, breathe, beat right now, right? We're very fortunate. And so that's pretty much like the difference. When we do energy work, we're going to actually not just talk about your frustration, but we are going to express it through particular movements, sensory, vibration that we need to do in order for you to tap into that.
Right. This is true. And you know, something that I learned, I think I've told you this before, but something that I learned with working with you is that I started to learn that every problem has like a deeper problem. You know, just because, you know, maybe somebody close to you, a friend threw a tantrum or whatever it is, however they reacted, it's deeper than just that. Usually, you know, it could be our parents and how they raised us. And we're, you know, we could be mad about that, but we also have to think about how they were raised. And do we even know how that happened? What's the problem? Is it a deeper problem? Why does this person act like that? And a lot of times it is a trigger. And this is how, I don't know if you remember, there's something that somebody said that, you know, bring a kid to you that until 7 and I'll show you a man or something like that, because from 0 to 7, it's so important, your time on this earth. Yes. And we react like that kind of throughout our lives. And we don't correct it. You know, if somebody, you know, if you were abused or if you were that, and then that's how you react in life. Whenever you feel like somebody's abusing you or somebody's talking to you a certain way, or sometimes people don't even realize how they're triggering you. So getting that energy out and realizing it and putting it in front of your face and say, okay, I react like this because of, you know, the way my mom or dad spoke to me when I was a kid. And that, I think that's something very important that we could also use to navigate in business as well. We're dealing with people.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we definitely need to do another podcast on that and how we can get through all of that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, so when we were working together, you showed me a consciousness chart. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Do you have it?
I think I do. I can show you.
Tell me about this chart and why did you show it to me?
So this is the map of consciousness. So the map of consciousness is really something that we should be using every single day, because this will really show you the type of energy that you're creating. So in the map of consciousness, it pretty much shows you like the degree of energy that you are in, the state of energy that you're in, and you are creating in that sense, if you can see. So
associated emotional state, that's what we're creating?
Yes. So most of the human population It's actually functioning from 175 below. And under 175 is pride, anger, desire, the desire of what? The desires of the things that you want.
You know what? And that I didn't put that together, but that's what it is. I was watching somebody else's YouTube video the other day, and she was saying something in the terms that she never followed up with her clients. Basically, you always have to see if there's a better solution out there. As an entrepreneur, if you have a client, you need to make sure, okay, is everything going well, and is it going? So that is also part of it. But if you figure out that this is also your consciousness, it will be easier for you to navigate in business.
I notice with people that are stepping into entrepreneurship, I think it's important for people to learn how to ask themselves.
Right.
What's the next step? Sometimes we look and see, okay, my clients are not liking this, so maybe I need to find out what it is that they want. That's important, to find out what they want, what they need, and things like that. But most importantly, it is important for you to ask inwards. What do I do next?
The book Think and Grow Rich says the same thing, that you need to tap into your intuition,
Yes.
you need to ask yourself, and you need to ask infinite intelligence, if you want to call it God or universe. There is an infinite intelligence that brings us all together. Yes. And I truly believe in that, for sure. Anytime I have a problem, I just ask.
Yeah. I noticed that the most successful businesses occurring right now have a conscience system, a conscience system where they are working with conscious awareness. They are becoming much more self-aware. They are becoming more mindful. They are incorporating mindfulness, So I always recommend people to practice some form of Tai Chi, Qigong, to really help you sense energy well. For you can intuitively know and learn when it's time to tap out and when it's time to jump in.
Speaking of Tai Chi and Qigong, you were speaking earlier about an exercise that we could do. You were tapping your hands or something like that. All right. So what are you going to show us? And is this about wealth, or how are we going to get more money? Like what?
Yes. All right. So I'll show you with your hands, of course. So first thing first, you want to see the condition of your body, right? So what I would just have you do is just sit up as straight as you can, as much as you can. And then I want you to slowly just lift your shoulders up and notice if it feels so stiff, right? And then push back and try to feel your shoulder blades and bring down, okay? And then you can do up again and then down, okay? And then slowly just move your head side to side. And notice if there's any stiffness there. Good. Right? And then slowly come back to stillness, breathing in through your nose, and if possible, exhale out through your nose. The reason why I ask you to exhale out from your nose is because it helps you to straighten your lung capacity. Okay. So the next assessment I'm going to ask you to do is to utilize your fingers to tap your head. So as you tapping your head, sometimes some people do this. They'll want to tap. I'm like, I promise you that your skull is very, very strong. Very strong. So just tap as hard as you can and just notice if you feel like any tension. Breathe and then exhale. You want to exhale a little bit tough here. Don't think about what you're doing. Just exhale. Just do it. Breathe. Let yourself hold that breath and exhale with a smile. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. Up, up, up. A little bit stronger. Good. And 5, down to the temples. 4, tap everywhere. 3, 2, and 1. Release the hand. Do you feel like some vibration?
Mhm.
Yeah, right. So now just using that, you activated acupressure points that are on your fingers right there. So now you want to gently rotate your wrists. Okay. And then slowly bringing your palms close together, focusing on the center of the palms. You can either move it this way. Stay with that sense, breathing in and exhaling out. Okay. And then you want to bring apart. Let your shoulders relax. Very important for your shoulders to relax. Bring closer, not touching, open. Open. And then closing in. And then another thing that is really good to do is like infinity movements. Yeah. So you want to relax your wrists and just feel your palms. And if, of course, if we were standing up, you would do more side to side. Yeah. And then slowly bring the palms facing each other again. Breathe in. Exhale. Again, breathe. And then when you bring it closer, don't touch. Don't have it touch, but keep it closed. You can close your eyes. And just feel the space. Not necessarily your hands, but the space between your hands. The space between your fingers. The space that surrounds your hands. And then breathe in. And breathe out. One more time, breathe. And exhale. Okay, bring your palms, let them touch this time. Sense that they're touching and rub the palms. Make them nice and hot, 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 hot. And then you bring your palms to your eyes. And then like you cup your hands. So make some space between your hands and your eyes. Breathe. And squeeze your eyes. Release any tension that your eyes been holding, and then sweep down your face. And exhale, open your eyes.
That was amazing. We should do this more often.
I know.
How did you do this in the morning? Oh my goodness. Master Tatiana, thank you so much for giving us your wisdom and your time. Where can we find you online?
You can find me. I do also have a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
So my
in my
YouTube,
description down below. Yeah,
yes.
got a
So
great YouTube channel.
my YouTube channel is Master Tatiana. Very simple, very easy to find me. It is a number channel, so you probably want to find out what life path you are. But I also do some general of, personal development and self-discovery talks on that channel as well. So you can find me there. My Instagram is Master Tatiana _. So you can find me there as well. I do work in the Bronx. So if you are in New York, I'm in the borough Bronx, and my center is named Body and Brain Yoga and Tai Chi. And we do not only yoga and Tai Chi, but as you become a member, you start to discover a lot more about yourself. So yeah, that's what I do. I do consultations, I do free webinars at times. The next webinar that I'm going to be doing is going to be on the 0 point.
Oh,
So yeah.
I
So
remember.
the 0 point is the infinite space where you can create from zero, where you get inspiration, but we need help on how do I get to my 0 point. Everyone has a 0 point. Everyone has a compass to connect with source.
Mhm.
So it's going to be on the 0 point. So it's on intuition. So activating your intuitive energetic power inside your body.
Perfect. And we'll link your information in the description. And lastly, since you mentioned your YouTube is about numbers, I remember last year you told me this year, 2023, is the year 9.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what that means before we head out?
Yes. So you carry a personal year 9. Universally, the energy is a 7, but you are in a personal year 9. So personal year 9 is a year of conclusion, finishing, also initiation. So preparing you for the new start of a new cycle. So a life cycle for us humans in this existence has 9 years. 9 years. So, and it's important to know your cycle so you can understand how life is going to be unfolding for you, how you can align yourself with the creation of life of that year. And for you can have a heads up of why you are experiencing certain consciousness phenomenons. So in your year right now, you are in a year 9. Every month had a separate vibration. So this month for you is a personal month 4. So this is a month that is about really utilizing what you have and utilizing it well. It's not too much of buying new things, because the 4 energy is the energy of integrity. It is the energy of wealth, is the energy of structure and foundation. It's a very humble vibration as well. So this month for you will bring you opportunities to create, be really involved, be hands-on, be experiential with everything around you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome.
We're gonna work together again very soon. I need you. I need you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And until next time.
Okay. Bye.